You open your eyes and glance at the clock. It's 3:47 a.m. Again, you lie there in the silence, wondering why. Why can't I just sleep through the night like I used to? The house is quiet. The world is dark. And yet your mind? Wide awake. You're not alone. If you're over 60, chances are this is a familiar story. In fact, studies show that nearly half of all adults over the age of 65 regularly wake up before 4 or 5 a.m. Not because of alarms, not because of noise, but because something inside them shifts. Sleep shortens, mornings stretch longer, and no matter what time they go to bed, their eyes still open before dawn. But why does this happen? Is it just getting old? Or is your body trying to tell you something? That's what we're going to unpack right now. Because what's happening during those early hours holds secrets about your health, your brain, your heart, even your longevity. And once you understand the truth, you might stop seeing 4 a.m. as a problem and start seeing it as a powerful clue. Let me tell you about Walter. He was 73 years old, retired firefighter, always been an early riser, but lately he was waking up at 3:30 a.m. every day, sometimes even earlier. He thought it was just part of aging. But one morning, sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and the sound of the fridge humming beside him, something occurred to him. He wasn't just waking up earlier. He was also getting tired earlier in the evening. His body clock was shifting, and it turns out there's a scientific name for this: advanced sleep phase syndrome. It's not a disorder in the traditional sense. It's not a malfunction. It's an adjustment, a reset of your internal body clock, your circadian rhythm, that happens naturally as we age. As we get older, the brain's production of melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep and wake cycles, starts to change. The pineal gland produces it earlier in the day, which means the signal to go to sleep comes earlier, and so does the signal to wake up. That's why many older adults find themselves drowsy right after dinner, and then, like clockwork, awake in the very early hours of the morning, no matter how dark it still is outside. But this early waking isn't just about melatonin. There's more going on beneath the surface. The part of the brain that manages sleep, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, actually begins to lose efficiency with age. This cluster of neurons, located in the hypothalamus, helps regulate circadian rhythms based on light exposure. As this part of the brain ages, it struggles to maintain a consistent rhythm, leading to fragmented sleep, lighter sleep, and yes, earlier wake-ups. But here's the thing, it's not always bad. Waking up early isn't automatically a sign that something's wrong. For many, it simply means the sleep window has shifted. If you go to bed at 8:30 or 9 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m., you might still be getting a full night's rest. It just looks different from when you were 30 or 40. But for others, these early mornings are paired with something else: exhaustion during the day, brain fog, irritability, falling asleep during conversations. These aren't just signs of aging. They could be signs that your sleep isn't restorative. That's where sleep quality comes in. As we get older, the deep, slow-wave sleep, the kind that heals your brain and body, becomes harder to reach. Light sleep takes over. You're more easily woken by noises, temperature changes, or the need to use the bathroom. So even if you're in bed for 7 or 8 hours, you're not getting the same benefits you once did. And when you add early waking to that mix, the result is chronic sleep deprivation, even when it doesn't feel like it. Let's go back to Walter for a second. He started tracking his sleep with a wearable device. He discovered he was waking up as many as 12 times per night, some for just seconds, others long enough to remember. These weren't full awakenings, but they added up. He felt tired during the day, even though he thought he was sleeping enough. And when he spoke to his doctor, something else came up. His blood pressure was rising, his memory was slipping, and his doctor connected the dots. Fragmented sleep and early waking were likely contributing to his health decline. Because sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. While you sleep, your brain clears waste proteins like beta amyloid, the very same compounds that build up in Alzheimer's patients. Your body lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. Your heart rate slows. Your immune system strengthens. When sleep gets cut short or interrupted too often, these processes fall behind. And that's when early waking becomes more than just an annoyance. it becomes a risk. But there's another layer to this. For many older adults, early waking is about more than biology. It's emotional. There's something deeply psychological about waking in the stillness of the early morning. It can feel peaceful, or it can feel lonely. The house is dark. The world is quiet. And if you're carrying sadness, anxiety, or unspoken fear, that's when it speaks loudest. Some studies suggest that early waking is more common in older adults dealing with depression. Not the dramatic, sobbing kind, but a quiet, chronic sadness. The kind that builds after loss, isolation, or health struggles. Waking up at 4 a.m. and being unable to fall back asleep is actually a known symptom of late-onset depression. And if you find that your thoughts race, your mood dips, or your energy crashes early in the day, it might not just be sleep. It might be a sign your mind is asking for help. But here's the hope. You can reset your rhythm. You can shift your sleep window. You can reclaim restful nights and peaceful mornings. Let me explain how. The first step is sunlight. Morning sunlight. Your brain's internal clock is guided by light exposure. When you go outside within an hour of waking, ideally before 10 a.m., your brain gets the signal, this is daytime. That anchors your circadian rhythm. Over time, consistent morning light exposure can shift your melatonin release back to a later time, helping you stay asleep longer. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Just 20 minutes of real sunlight, even on a cloudy day, can begin to reprogram your sleep-wake cycle. Second, avoid bright lights at night. TVs, smartphones, tablets, they all emit blue light. And that blue light tells your brain it's daytime, even when it's 9 p.m. This delays melatonin release and throws your rhythm off balance. If you want to sleep later, begin dimming your lights an hour before bed. Use warm, soft bulbs. Avoid screens. Let your body wind down naturally. Third, stay active during the day. Light exercise like walking, stretching, or gardening not only improves your physical health, it helps regulate your sleep. Movement tells your body it's daytime, and by burning off energy, you're more likely to feel truly tired when night comes. But avoid exercising too late. That can actually wake you up. Fourth, be mindful of naps. Naps can be refreshing, but if you nap too long or too late in the day, it can interfere with your nighttime sleep. Keep naps under 30 minutes, and try not to nap after 3 p.m. Finally, talk to someone. If early waking is paired with sadness, anxiety, or a sense of dread, don't ignore it. Speak with a doctor or a therapist. Aging is full of transitions, and sometimes sleep disruptions are your body's way of revealing emotional needs that haven't been voiced yet. Because waking up early isn't always about sleep. Sometimes it's about purpose. Some older adults find that they wake early because they're no longer mentally engaged during the day. Retirement, isolation, lack of structure, it can all lead to restlessness. Waking early might be your brain's way of saying, I need something more, something meaningful. If you're up at 4 a.m., maybe that's a gift. A quiet window to write, to think, to pray, to reflect, to read, to create. The most brilliant minds in history, Benjamin Franklin, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, all cherish the early morning hours. So if you're waking up early, maybe ask yourself, not just how do I fix this, but what can I do with this? What if 4 a.m. became your sacred hour? What if it became the beginning of something? Because that's the hidden truth. Aging doesn't mean decline. It means transition. And how you move through that transition determines your quality of life. If you're waking up early, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your body, your brain, your spirit are changing. And that change deserves attention. Curiosity, compassion, not fear. So tonight, as you lie in bed, and if you wake before dawn, don't panic. Breathe. Know that millions of others are awake with you. And know that you have the power to change this rhythm, to understand it, or even to embrace it. Because your life isn't over. Your story isn't finished. And your mornings, however early they may come, are still yours to shape. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone you love. Someone who's been waking early and wondering why. Let them know they're not alone. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below telling us your sleep story. You never know who you might help just by sharing what you've learned. Thanks for watching. And whatever time you wake tomorrow, may you meet the morning with strength, with peace, and with purpose. You deserve that.